is another Steampunk Desperado 5-minute review, Ninti's Gate by Matthias Pierce. One thing many people may not realize is a lot of us creators are also writers. For example, the famous critical drinker writes thrillers under the name Will Jordan. Today's offering is a brand new release from Binary Stars in 2024. It's from one of my newly favorite creators on YouTube, The Feral Historian. Its name is Ninti's Gate, and that does not refer to one of these magical arches that lets you jump from one world to another without any time in between. No, it's a war story, but it's also fairly deep. Its protagonist is Pierce, a Martian-born spaceship pilot turned homesteader on the human colony world of Hodder. His wife Kim, also Martian-born, is a technician working for the Crade Star Drive Company, which is an interplanetary corporation. Named for the pagan Hungarian god of fire, Hodder is actually a moon circling the gas giant of Osiris. It formerly had a thick, high-pressure atmosphere, but they terraformed it for human habitation, and they killed off a lot of the original life. The native vegetation that does survive is not chlorophyll-based. It is red instead of green. The primary industry is the mining of pent, a highly volatile substance used to power starship drives. Pierce and Kim are just living their lives when they get embroiled in a political struggle. The anarchist rebels have formed into units they call Feards. They're fighting against the rule of the Crade Company and the Compact Defense Force, a private security company that kind of keeps order on Hodder. Pierce and Kim's house out in the country get invaded by a group of Feared men led by one of Pierce's friends. This brings down the wrath of the CDF, which bombs their house, destroying their vehicle. They barely escape with their lives. They have to walk to town to a refugee center. While trying to board a ship to get off the planet, there's more fighting. They get separated, and each believes the other is dead, so they take very different paths. Pierce joins the Feards, and Kim collaborates with the CDF in her technical position. Ninti's Gate is actually a gap between two large rock formations, and this is where this critical battle ensues in which Pierce is involved. The reluctant warrior Pierce plays a pivotal role in this struggle, and for a man who didn't want to fight, he's become pretty ruthless. This is not your simplistic good versus bad guys shoot 'em up. There's a lot of moral ambiguity here, and the rebellion provokes an extremely horrific terrorist incident. Even when the warring parties sign a truce, the war isn't really over. Now, there's also the question about what will happen to Pierce's relationship with Kim when they're reunited and find out they're not really dead. All these factors make a pretty interesting read, and the world building is first rate. Military action, I think, rang pretty true for me, and the biggest problem I had was that Pierce's style is quite terse, and sometimes I was a little questionable about what was happening, so I'd have to back it up. There's no audiobook version, and because I listen to most of my books, I was listening to it on my Kindle Fire with the reader function. One problem was the Kindle had trouble with some of the terminology, like he's invented these abbreviations like CRAU, which is a machine of some sort. It pronounces that crow, and yet the made-up swear word he uses, CAC, C-A-C, they keep spelling out. Now, I have no problem with actual profanity if the book's actually aimed at adults, and Ninti's Gate clearly is with all the violence. But some people have a problem with these venerable Anglo-Saxon terms. Finally, there are a lot of things that aren't explained. For example, what happened to the Earth? There was some kind of unspecified disaster. A lot of people will be unhappy with this. I like a little mystery. And all in all, it's an excellent first work. And in the end, we discovered that there is a sequel on the way. Please like and subscribe. Also, check out my work on Amazon. Links are in the description. This has been my review of Ninti's Gate by Matthias Pierce, and it's another Steampunk Desperado 5-minute review.